Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Steve. Now, I have some very big news for the Toronto Raptor fans out there, and a lot of people are going to be very surprised about what I'm about to say because of my history with the Toronto Raptors. Here's the thing. People don't like me because I'm brutally honest about all things basketball, right? Now, here's the honest truth about the Toronto Raptors right now with Kawhi Leonard. This team is simply, they're going to make the NBA Finals. The Toronto Raptors will be in the 2019 NBA Finals without a doubt. Now, the reason why I think this is, there are a few reasons, and it's pretty obvious. It's one, their roster is so well balanced. They have the fourth best player in the NBA, in no particular order, the top three, LeBron, KD, and Steph, even though that probably is the order. LeBron, KD, and Steph are like top three, and then you have Kawhi Leonard right there. I mean, Kawhi Leonard is simply, this man is simply incredible. He's so efficient. He shoots pretty much 50, 40, 90 from the field. I mean, let's go over his statistics real quick, right? So Kawhi Leonard averaged 26.6 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. So pretty much 27, 7, 3, and 1. Now look at his shooting. 49% from the field, pretty much 50, 37% from 3, pretty much 40, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous, and 85% from the free throw line. So like I said, pretty much 50, 40, 90. Not quite, but it's pretty much there. Now, Toronto is very dynamic and very balanced. After getting rid of DeMar DeRozan, who I think was their best player, I think Kyle Lowry is the reason why they never made it far, because the man always disappeared in the playoffs. Yeah, he had some big moments like that buzzer beater from like half court. I think it was to send it to overtime or to win the game, to bring it to like a game 7 or a game 6 or something. Yeah, he's had his big moments in the playoffs, but a lot of people don't understand the history of Kyle Lowry. He used to be a role player, I believe, with the Memphis Grizzlies, if I get that correctly, if I remember right. But now they have such a dynamic team that's so well balanced. It's really ridiculous. So let's go over the Toronto Raptor roster. Obviously, they have Kyle Lowry at the guard. They have Danny Green at the 2, Kawhi Leonard, Marc Gasol, Norman Powell. Siakam is pretty good. Anunoby, I hope I pronounced that right. Anunoby. Obviously, Serge Ibaka. Patrick McCaw, who won championships with the Golden State Warriors. I believe he won 1 or 2. I don't remember if he's a sophomore or this is his 3rd year. Jeremy Lin, Jody Meeks. You know, they have a lot of veteran experience, and Marc Gasol, Danny Green. Danny Green's played with LeBron on Cleveland back in LeBron's first tenure with the Cavaliers in 08, 09. He's played with who has he played with? The San Antonio Spurs, Marc Gasol, one of the best big men in the league for like the past decade, played with the Memphis Grizzlies for such a long time. You have Kyle Lowry, who's been in the league a while, Serge Ibaka, who's been deep in the playoffs a long time, Patrick McCaw, who's won a championship with the Golden State Warriors before, if I get that correct. I might be wrong about that. Maybe they traded him before they won, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. Jody Meeks, Jeremy Lin's been in the league for a while. Jeremy Lin's played with Carmelo. Jeremy Lin's played with James Harden. Like, Jeremy Lin, there are just so many veterans. And then don't even get me wrong with Kawhi Leonard, the man who played against one of the greatest teams of all time and played on one of the greatest teams of all time. Played against the Miami Heat with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, which Kawhi said was the best team he's ever played against. And he's played on the San Antonio Spurs with one of the greatest players of all time and one of the best point guards of all time, and also one of the best role players of all time. All 3 Hall of Famers. Kawhi's also Hall of Famer, so 4 Hall of Famers. And Tim Duncan's the only player in NBA, second player in NBA history to win a championship in 3 different decades. The 90s, the 2000s, and then the 2010s. Isn't that absolutely ridiculous? Yes, it is. So Kawhi Leonard is pretty much the iron rod in this situation. I'm giving Kawhi Leonard the nod. He's the best player in the Eastern Conference. Yes, Giannis is simply incredible. Don't get me wrong. Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks are great. I just think that the Toronto Raptors are more well-balanced. And they also have the greatest player in the Eastern Conference and the 4th best player in the world. Now, here's one thing about Giannis that I don't like. The dude is a beast. He relies on athleticism. He relies on his length. But what happens when you rely on that? You get injured. You simply get injured. And if Giannis were to get injured, or if his body were to wear down just a little bit, or a simple amount of fatigue, I know he's young, he's going to slow down a bit. He can't shoot the basketball. It's easy to play defense on him. hypothetically, like on paper, in real life, obviously it's pretty much impossible because the man is 7'1" and plays like he's Tracy McGrady mixed with like Steve Nash mixed with Rajon Rondo and LeBron, but has the strength of Shaq and the length of Kevin Durant and T-Mac. It's crazy. It's crazy. He has the footwork of like Carmelo and Kobe. It's ridiculous. This man Giannis is incredible. But Kawhi Leonard is better. Here's why. Kawhi Leonard offensively is way better. 50-40-90, like I said, pretty much. Not exactly, but very close. I mean, he's always been like that through his career. Very close to 50-40-90. But not only that, the man has a great post-up game now. He's a great size-up game. He can face you up. He has good footwork. He's good with the jab step now. He's good at backing people down. He can catch and shoot. He can bring the ball up the court. He can run the offense. I mean, this man, Kawhi, really developed into one of the greatest players in the NBA at this point. And it's simply incredible. I mean, I haven't seen someone in so long so great offensively and so great defensively. Who was the last dominant player that I've seen like that? We had LeBron, Kobe, Wade. I'm probably missing some off the top of my head, but like really dominant on both ends of the court. Kawhi just gets the nod. I mean, Giannis is incredible defensively and he's incredible offensively. It's just the shooting and the efficiency. I go to Kawhi because in the playoffs, shooting is what matters. Because when you're like in the playoffs, it's different. You're playing more minutes. The pace is harder. People are playing harder on defense. People are running faster. People are putting their body on you more. So it's gonna be really hard on Giannis's body. And this is the first test for us to see if Giannis really has what it takes to be a top tier player in this league. He obviously already is, but now is the time to see if he actually has what it takes to stay top in this league, because it takes a lot. You can be on the top for a season or two, but after that, man, most people decline. Danny Granger. Y'all remember Danny Granger from the Indiana Pacers? Great example right there. Injuries and all. And he was a great shooter, and his body gave up on him. So, Milwaukee, I would be very concerned with Giannis, but very excited too, because Milwaukee has a great future with Giannis at its court. I mean, they're so blessed to have him. But the Toronto Raptors, man, congratulations to Toronto. You guys are going to make the 2019 NBA Finals. I would just like to briefly say that tonight you guys play the Orlando Magic in Toronto, obviously, because Toronto was the second seed in the East. Toronto's good, and here's why. Toronto's bracket is easier than Milwaukee's bracket, and this is why sometimes it's better off being second than being first, because, ironically, the 4th and 5th seeds are usually pretty good teams. And the number 1 seed or the number 8, depending on who wins, always plays the 4th or 5th seed. And the 4th or 5th seed teams are really dominant teams. Not dominant, but they're really good teams. Teams you're like, ugh, I gotta face them in the playoffs. Like teams with players like, what was his name, man? The defensive player from Memphis. I can't remember his name. The guard that's always missing, Tony something. Tony Allen. He's always missing layups. You play people like that. You got all rugged and defense and sweat pouring everywhere. It's like, it's annoying, But Milwaukee's gonna have to face Boston. Now they're gonna have to face Detroit. They're gonna have to plow through Detroit. They probably will in I would say 5 games. I don't think they're going to sweep Detroit. Detroit usually always steals one. And then they have to play Boston with Kyrie Irving. So that's going to be tough. And then once Toronto sweeps Orlando and once Philly sweeps Brooklyn, it'll be like an even matchup because both teams get to rest in terms of Philly and Toronto. And I think Toronto's going to beat Philly in 5 or 6 games. Then Toronto's going to be waiting for the winner of the Milwaukee-Boston series. And honestly, I have no clue who's going to win that series yet. For now, I'm going to just say the Boston Celtics because Kyrie Irving has that experience in the finals, and he's proven to be one of the best players in the world. So is Giannis, but again, experience triumphs over everything, and plus shooting ability and veteran experience always triumphs. So, and then it'll be Boston versus Toronto, and obviously Toronto will be so well rested, which is good sometimes, and sometimes it's not. With Kawhi Leonard at the forefront and Kyle Lowry also at the forefront, and Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol has some deep playoff experience too because Memphis used to be a dominant team. they're gonna know, we have rest, but we can't get lackadaisical, we can't get lazy, we got to stay dominant. So there's that, and then they're gonna play Boston, and I think Toronto's gonna be Boston in 6 games, just because, like I said, Toronto's just so well-rounded, and I'm very disappointed in the Boston Celtics this year. Anyway, it's been your man Steve. I'm very excited for you, Toronto. I hope you guys are happy, and I'm so excited to see what you guys can do in the playoffs, especially with Kawhi Leonard. Now, there is some news that Kawhi Leonard told Serge Ibaka, I think it was on his show on YouTube, that he doesn't know if he's going to sign with the Toronto Raptors again. If I were a Raptor fan, which I'm not, I'm a Knicks fan for life, I would just like to say, you just got to live in the moment, man. Trust me, I know what it's like to have a superstar player and not know the future. I'm a Knicks fan, so. It's been your man, Steve. Congratulations, Toronto. The NBA playoffs are back, baby. Like I said, I'm back. I'm out. Peace.